our innate wisdom. Mother Nature is not cruel, and our innate wisdom in our body is so powerful when we know what to do with it.
Hello, I'm Caramellas.
Hello there, I'm Dr. Rosy Daniel.
You've just tuned in to Alive and Loving It, and we're here to help you bring joy and energy back to your life. Today's guest has been an inspiration to me for over 15 years, and actually the reason why I became a nutritional therapist. Sandra Miskimmin is the founder of Smash Worldwide. She is a top-class health coach, specializing in nutrition, weight management, naturopathy, and behavioral change. She's a published author and a purposeful speaker, and I am very proud to call her my teacher and my friend. But I met Sandra a long time before she became the person she is today. I met her right at the start of her healing journey. We both worked for a well-known party plan company, and boy, did we know how to party. We had an absolute great time, traveling the world, working hard, meeting targets. But as Sandra will tell you herself, that lifestyle does not help you be healthy. Often forgetting to eat, then eating the wrong foods and drinking, I'm afraid, way too much alcohol. Becoming overweight and in pain, and actually aging before our time. After health scare, she had a revelation. She finally had a breakthrough, and I watched from the sidelines and I learned everything I could from her. I watched her transform before my very eyes into this strong, healthy, determined woman she is today. A recent grandma, you would never believe it. You have to watch this one on our YouTube channel. She is full of life and more gorgeous than ever. So let's let her tell her story and how Smash was born. Well, hello again. We are here on another episode of Alive and Loving It. Episode 11, Rosy. Can you believe we've lasted this long?
We are amazing.
Oh, we're doing well. And the episodes are just getting better and better. I am so excited for this one. This is my dear friend, Sandra Miskimmin. Hello. I've known you 20 years, my love. And still being connected with you is fantastic. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. It is quite scary when you say that we've known each other for 20 years. It is unbelievable. Our paths crossed for a reason, and we have stayed connected for a reason too.
Oh, and life back then when we met each other was very, very different for both of us, wasn't it? We were working for a multi-level marketing cosmetic company called Virgin V, which some people who are listening may remember fondly. And it was a very, very different life, wasn't it? I mean, we partied hard and we worked hard. And both of us were in quite a bit of pain doing that.
We were, but we were always smiling through it, and we got through it. But with what we know now, I'd much rather live this way.
So let me just tell everybody, when we finished with the company with Virgin V, and we lost touch for a little while, and then on social media, I watched Sandra transform from who I knew into, actually, I watched you look younger and get more healthier and have more energy. And I think that was like 2016 when I saw you go through that. And I just knew I needed what you were having. So tell us what you went through there in that transformation, Sandra.
Okay. So for me, back in 2013, I transformed my life. And for over a decade before that, I lived with chronic pain. But not only chronic pain, I also lived with asthma. I lived with allergies. I lived with migraines. I lived with hay fever. My body was screaming, and no matter what I did or who I went to see, my body just wasn't responding properly. It would do something for a wee bit of a time, and then it would go back to what was then my normal. And as I was reaching my 40th and looking forward to my later years of life, it absolutely terrified me. Because at my worst, I had to be lifted out of the bath by my husband. And when you're in your 30s, that is not something that you want to do. And all my thoughts were if this is what I am like when I'm 30, what am I going to be like when I'm 50, 60, and 70? And with that in mind, I kept looking. And in 2013, a friend of mine said, I'm doing this amazing thing. It's given me great results. And I didn't believe her. And I went, let me try it. I will prove to you it doesn't work, because anything that I had tried before never worked. And I thought, I will prove to this lady that it's not going to work. And all I can say is, thank goodness I was stubborn. Thank goodness I was adamant on proving to her that this wasn't going to work, because it changed my life. And what happened was I took a really natural approach to health. Rather than doing what the doctors were saying to me, which was live on painkillers, exercise more, eat less, it's all your fault, I decided to then look at it at a different level. And I went down the natural route and looked at the homeopathy, or however you pronounce it, some people say it differently, looked at natural supplements that would support my body, and really, really focused on food. And that was the core at what changed my body round. And then whenever things started to change, and whenever I started to feel so amazing, my brain started going, why is this happening? Why have I been able to change my life this time when anything that I had done for over a decade beforehand had failed? And mentally, I had to understand the why. And that led me to starting to research things, doing it on a personal level at the start, and then down the line going, I need to get myself qualified so I can help other women feel as amazing as I do. Because I believe that we as women do not deserve to grow old and feel like rubbish. We deserve to grow old and feel absolutely fantastic.
Yay! And you helped me. I went through the program 2017. After my mum died, I just wanted to eat pie all the time. And honestly, it was pie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I needed it at that time. And obviously that didn't do me any good. And I went through the Sandra Smash program, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Rosy, is that a common picture of people's health that Sandra described there?
Yes, it is. And hello, everybody. It's just so great to be talking about nutrition and food, and to hear your story, Sandra, because this state of inflammation that you're talking about is pandemic through our society. And when I have studied with the Indian Ayurvedic doctors, they all say, you know, what you don't understand in the West is that the way you're eating is making your bodies acidic. It's making your bodies full of histamine, and it's causing all of this, in all these inflammatory systems. You've got the whole lot. And I know there is another emotional element to inflammation in terms of how upset we are, how stressed we are, how frightened we are, which can actually move our allergic threshold. But clearly something you were doing was actually putting your body in that whole environment of inflammation. So what do you think you were doing that was inflaming everything so much?
Oh, I know what I was doing now. I've always been really busy. So even though I lived in pain, I was always trying to be the best at what I was ever doing. So what I did was I fueled myself with caffeine and sugar, and I was the carb queen. Like, you couldn't eat a meal unless there was loads and loads of white carbs in that meal, and that was what was fueling my body. And, you know, at my inflammation levels and my toxicity levels must have been through the roof, because in your 30s, you shouldn't be going, oh, my hands are sore, my ankles are sore going down the stairs in the morning. That's not normal. And unfortunately, society is saying, you know, that is the norm. And we as women, especially once you hit your 30s and 40s, we are being given that this is the future for you, just get used to it. And I'm like, no, I'm 51 now and I am playing netball twice a week. And to be able to do that, like on Thursday night, one of the landings that I did, I still shock myself because I landed and my legs were so far apart. It was like, will I actually be able to move? And I get home, I, take anti-inflammatory supplements to keep my body level. And I get up the next morning and go, yeah, I can move.
Amazing.
Whereas years ago, if I put my footing wrong in a walk, I'd have been in bed for a week because my body just went, I can't cope.
Well, the Ayurvedic doctors that I went to visit in India were saying, that all this acidity in our bodies is creating the perfect ground for inflammation, infection, and cancer.
Yeah.
So, luckily you weren't lucky, but the fact that it was inflammation only and not a serious diagnosis of cancer, thank God you caught it. But
yeah,
I find if I measure the salivary pH of my clients with cancer, they are way more acidic than me or their supporter that they've come with.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was a wake-up call, though, Sandra. I mean,
100%.
Thank goodness for that friend recommending.
Absolutely.
You can look back, can't you, and see the chain of events, but you have to be listening to your body in the first place and challenge what you're being told. You listen to yourself. And what came from that, Sandra? Tell us about the program.
Well, with Smash, when I had my transformation, I had women coming up to me in the street going, what on earth are you doing? You look amazing. And, people were following me on social media going, I want what you have. So once I qualified, once I studied nutrition, I started looking at the eating psychology that goes along with eating. I started looking at the naturopathic way of eating as well. And when I started to look at all that, what I realized was, when I was at my worst, I was broken. And I talk about the health jigsaw, and my health jigsaw was scattered all over the table. So my food was not right. My sleep was not right. My stress was not right. The toxin exposure, the hormones, my gut health, everything was just scattered over the table. And what I needed to do was put all those pieces back together again so my body could function in the way that it is made to do. Like our innate wisdom, Mother Nature is not cruel. And our innate wisdom in our body is so powerful when we know what to do with it. So in my head, it was like, I have to create a program that makes it easy for women to have access to this kind of information so that they can improve their life going forward. So I created the Smash Worldwide and Health Jigsaw, Living Life the Smash Way. And it's about Sandra Miskimmin's alternative solutions for health. Because unfortunately, what we're told in society, and sometimes by traditional doctors, it doesn't work long term. They do not focus on the power of the body and the power that the body has to heal. So it's about focusing on food, putting those pieces of your health jigsaw back together again, and your body goes, thank you very much. Now I can perform the way I am meant to perform.
Well, I knew you two would get on because, Rosy, that must be music to your ears. It sounds, similar to health creation. And what encouragement have you got for Sandra? Because I know you will be jumping for joy there.
Well, it is music to my ears and my heart as well. We are living it's beyond pandemic. We all got very, very frightened by the idea of COVID. But, every day, thousands of people are being diagnosed with cancer and diabetes and heart disease and all these inflammatory problems. So the food is at the heart of it. And, very obviously, these kind of eating habits are being driven by corporates who just do not care, And I've seen another nutritionist talking about the fact that confectionery companies will even measure how quickly you get the dopamine hit from eating a chocolate bar or a pack of sweets. They're racing each other to get that dopamine hit more quickly. That's how shameless it is. They're getting us hooked. And the level of sugar in everything from tomato soup to you name it, even sausage rolls have got sugar in them, and all kinds of other horrible things.
Cooked chicken in Marks and Spencer's has got sugar in it,
I was
Because
about
it's
to say
addictive.
that.
and you go back to buy more. And it's
Yeah.
all driven by the bottom line, isn't it?
And in the cancer prevention world, there are many theories, but every single one of them says that it starts with food.
Yeah.
And that we are in this position of being overfed and undernourished. So like you're saying, Sandra, our bodies are screaming for the minerals, for the vitamins, for the right balance. So tell us a bit more about your SMASH program.
Okay, so the SMASH program, as I said, it's about focusing on food and eating real food. That is the key. It's about getting as close to that creation of the food that you put in your mouth, as close as you can get, because the closer we are, the better it is for us. I teach people how to read labels so that they understand what they're actually eating. And I give women, we have over, I think it's about 250 recipes that you can cook in the comfort of your own home that are designed to support your body on all different levels. They're designed to keep your inflammation low. They're designed to support your gut health. They're designed for female hormones. And it's about finding healthier alternatives to what people have been told that they need to buy in the supermarket, because we're told that we don't have time to cook, that cooking is hard, that cooking is complicated. And I'm here to say, no, it is not. I am a very busy person, and yet I make time to be able to cook meals for my family because it is the best thing that I can do for them. So I cook from scratch. I make chocolate muffins. I have a healthier granola. I have cookies that we make, and they're just constant staples in our house. And it's about eating the food that is right for your body, because we're all unique as well. I never tell anybody you have to eat X, Y, and Z. It's about getting rid of all the rubbish, doing a reset in your body so that your body can actually start to function properly, and then reintroducing some foods that you think you might like to eat again. But what you find is your body tells you if it doesn't like it or not. And it will give you those signals. It will give you the bloating, the tiredness, the pain, the brain fog. And if you're starting to see those symptoms reappear again, your body's going, no, that's not right for me. And once you find what works for your body, that's freedom. People think it's like, oh, you're not eating X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, but when I was eating X, Y, and Z, I felt like rubbish. I had pain. I was sleeping like on the sofa in the afternoon. I had no energy. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. So for me, I know exactly what works with my body, and I'm so in tune with it. And I teach other women to do exactly the same.
Wow.
So they have an 8-week course that they can go through where they can work at their own pace. They can learn everything. We have ongoing support. So on a Tuesday, I do a Talk to Me Tuesday where people can ask me anything and I will answer them. And it's about giving up-to-date information so that women can understand what is going on in their body.
Marvelous.
It's so great, that sort of listening to the body, and it's talking to us all the time. But we've got to slow down to be able to listen, to be able to hear it, haven't we? At the fast pace that we're going at, if we don't take 5 minutes every day just to go, oh, am I in pain? Or is my stomach rumbling? Or have I got headache? We've just been taught, we've grown up with, if you've got a symptom, take a pill and mask the symptom. But just bringing in that awareness of, hang on, there's something wrong in my body. And if I leave that alone, it's going to get worse. Wow. It's a really key message, I think, isn't it?
Big time. Like for years, I was told that I should be on preventative inhalers, I should be on steroid inhalers, and I should use another inhaler whenever I had an asthma attack. I don't own an inhaler anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty powerful. And I was told that I was just going to get worse. And, that is the power of what living in a healthy way, that you embrace life, you enjoy life, that your body can then go, do you know what? This is what you're meant to do.
Well, it's so, so beautiful to hear you say that. And if for anybody who's listening rather than watching, you are an absolute picture of health. You're completely radiant. And I want to ask you a rather controversial question, which is about alcohol. And what is your feeling about what alcohol is doing to our health and state?
Okay, so again, you get me on my soapbox, Rosie. We could be here for hours. Um, as women, as powerful women, we are told that alcohol is something that should always be in our glass. When we're stressed, when we're celebrating, when we're relaxing, it should be alcohol. And as women, we deserve that. And years ago, that probably was my lifestyle. On a Friday evening, I would come home from work and I deserved to have a glass of wine. I have totally changed my point of view on alcohol. And I am actually in the process of giving up alcohol 100%. And that has again been through a process of listening to my body. Alcohol is not good for the brain. It's not good for the liver. It's not good for the gut health. It's poisoning. Whenever we think of the word, you're intoxicated. Alcohol is a toxin going into our body. And that is the problem. And women don't realize the damage it is doing. So many women that are going through the perimenopausal years of life are suffering through temperature regulation, hot flushes, poor sleep. And when you cut out alcohol, those symptoms start to disappear. So I highly recommend women give up alcohol for at least a period of 28 days, at least. See how their body responds. See how it responds whenever it goes back in again, and it might quite literally change your life.
Well, what a big and brave thing to say, because I know, Karen, this is a reality for you right now. Where are you with that?
Well, I did the SMASH program first in 2016 and gave up alcohol for 8 weeks because that's part of the program. And the first thing I noticed was I was a gin and tonic girl. Gin and tonic was my drink. And, end of the week, I'll have one of those. I deserve it. It started to increase because it was then, is it 5 o'clock? And I can have one every day. By the end of the 8 weeks, I thought, I don't even like the taste of gin and tonic. It wasn't because I was needing it or even I liked it. And this is me, right? Everybody's buying me gin for Christmas, my birthday. I got a cupboard full of all those different gins. Do you remember when they started coming onto the market? And after 8 weeks, I thought, I don't even like it. So what I'd done was broken is it Pavlov's dog thing, isn't it? It's that, stress and this is what I need to, So now I found other things to reach for that raise my energy level, which you talk about all the time, Rosy.
Yeah.
But I have gone back onto alcohol. I mean, I spent 8 weeks in Spain this year. Red wine is €2.50 for a bottle. My goodness. And it's beautiful. It's gone up and down. But what are we now? We are the 2nd of June, 2025. I haven't had a drink since the 20th of March.
Wow.
And I don't think I'm going back now. I mean, the world has changed. There's all these non-alcoholic drinks everywhere, but water is my choice. So the difference for me, Rosy, is that I'm in menopause now. I wasn't sleeping through the night. I was waking up 2 or 3 times, and now I am back sleeping like a baby. And I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving my sleep up anymore. I don't want to do it.
No, well, the from the medical perspective, the very, very worrying trend is young women with liver cirrhosis, liver failure in their 30s. This has never been seen before because of the shot culture. And, my kids were doing it before they went out, the pre-lash. I know it's got different names, different parts of the country, but because they couldn't afford alcohol out, they'd get a bottle of vodka and polish it off before they went out, between 6 of them,
That's scary.
It's very scary and very dangerous. And I just think it's something we need to start holding as a reality. I've got my lovely friend Sue. She will have a glass of wine at a dinner, and that will last her for the whole meal. But before we start sounding like the Temperance Society, I want to ask you what you think about the ketogenic trend that's going on with everybody taking carbs out of their diet. What do you think about ketogenics?
Keto, I've had mixed opinions over the last sort of 12 years. I do believe the ketogenic way of life is very beneficial for lowering inflammation, getting the body into that fat burning mode, giving our brain the ketones that it will actually function so much better on. However, whenever a woman is having a monthly cycle, the week before her period, I do believe a woman needs some carbs. But whenever I'm talking about carbs, I'm talking about nature's carbs. I'm not talking about highly refined rubbish that you go and you binge on. I am talking about sweet potato. I'm talking about eating more veggies. I'm talking about eating some maybe sweeter fruits that your body will actually be able to process properly. But I do say the SMASH way probably is about 90% ketogenic. We want to put the body into that ketogenic state where it's not craving the sugar, where you're functioning on healthy fats and getting good quality protein, not highly manufactured protein foods that are being marketed at the moment, real protein into the body. And then again, working with your hormones. And I do say to women, the week before your period, if you're starting to get that, I need to eat more, that's your body naturally saying to you, listen, you need an extra 300 calories this week in order for your hormones to shift. Eat nature's carbs, increase the carbs that you're eating with your food, and then you will feel so much better.
Was that an audible sigh I could hear of relief from our audience? And what about healthy eating during menopause? What would you be advocating there?
See, for me, the SMASH way supports women going through like at every stage of life. And it is about increasing that protein intake because we're losing muscle mass year on year on year, but also working out in a way that supports our muscles, because so many women are terrified of eating protein and ending up looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That is really difficult to do. And I do say to women, don't fear protein. So many women, when they first come to me and I do a food analysis on them, they're not getting enough protein in their diet at all. They're terrified of fat. And it's all low fat this, low fat the other. It's a chemical, I could swear, in a package, and it's just not real food. And their diet is so high on carbs. They are driving themselves on carbs. So when they flip that around, they then are able to function better. Their brain function is better. Their hormones are more stable. And whenever we introduce the nuts and seeds and flax seeds and all that sort of stuff, the female body responds so well when we've healed the gut as well, and the body can function properly and reduce the alcohol and made the liver function properly as well.
It's not just take a pill, is it? I mean, that's something we could talk about, is the pills that are out there now to help you lose weight. But I know, I can see that. Sandra's reaction then, watch it on YouTube, is classic. But I know that you have, the program is there to sustain people through making healthy changes. But that change can be hard, Sandra, can't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what have you learned over the time with SMASH, with that connection?
So sometimes women think they're ready, but they're not ready to make that 100% commitment. And part of the SMASH community is you're in there. There is no judgment at all. It is a really, really safe, supportive way that you work at your speed. Because we are being marketed to all the time that this is the way we should look. We have this ideal that we should be made up to the nines, we should have our hair dyed, we should be fake tanned, we should be skinny, we should be da-da-da-da-da. And the pressure on women is awful. Now, I embraced my greys, it's probably about 7 years ago. And when I started to do that, people are like, oh, you're going to let yourself go. And I was like, excuse me, how dare you? By me embracing me, I am actually being even better to myself. So when people come to me, they will come at different speeds. Some will be like, oh, I can't do without alcohol. That's okay. Let's just find alternatives that you can drink. Some will be, I can't do without bread for 2 weeks. I'm like, right, well, let's do 1 week. And we work with women for where they're at and support them on their choices throughout that journey. And that is the key.
Rosie, that change journey, I mean, you've got so many stories. That's why we're doing the podcast, really, isn't it? I
Hmm.
mean, what do you think about change and how
Well,
easy it is?
you've heard me say many times that if change is difficult, it's because we haven't got enough support,
Yes.
and or that we're not ready, or that we're hurting, emotionally, and food is our comfort blanket, our sedative, the way that we steady ourselves down. And in the entire holistic model, the key is compassion. Compassion for our clients, compassion for ourselves, and actually not rushing, as Sandra is saying, changing what we can, go for the easy wins. And the beauty of the holistic model is that, as you know, I break it down into 12 health creation principles: 3 for the body, 3 for the mind, 3 for the spirit, 3 for the environment. It can be beautifying your environment, having some flowers or changing a color on a wall gives you the nourishment of your soul, or going to your sacred places for some soul food. That means that you're not starving, you're not trying to fill a hole in yourself with food. So, this is, I think, the subtler, deeper way of working with all of this, to see what it is, if there was a hole inside you, that you were trying to fill, what would that hole be? What would that gap be?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's where community really, really helps, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Spending time with people who are on a similar journey as you, who you feel safe enough to express, oh, today I just needed to have a bar of chocolate
Yeah.
because whatever was happening in the external was just too much for me. And I flipped back and I went back to chocolate because we've all been there. Or we had a glass of wine. So
Yeah.
community is so important, isn't it, Sandra?
Big time. And that is the thing. It's when women say to me, oh, I've been really, really bad at the weekend. I'm like, what did you do? Did you kill someone? And they're like, no, I had a Chinese. I'm like, you're not bad because you had a Chinese. Like, and that is what we are told,
Yeah.
and unfortunately there's slimming groups out there that teach women that if they stray off their plan, they're a really bad person. You are not. And when you work with that, I always say to people, go through the process. Why did you do it? What did you feel like before it? What did you feel like whenever you were eating it? How did you feel 10 minutes after it? How did you feel 15, 20, an hour after it? How did you feel the next day? And it's going through that process to go, right, I did that because of that. It felt okay, but then it felt like rubbish. Am I going to do it again? I'll think about it more the next time.
Yeah, bringing awareness to that
Exactly.
process
Yeah.
and acceptance and compassion, like you were saying, Rosie. But once you know it, there's no going back. Then you've got to make a choice, haven't you?
Exactly. And that's key. That is so key. And never guilt. We
Mm.
we need to take guilt out of the equation. We should
Absolutely.
never.
And, just asking ourselves the simple question, and note to self, if you're carrying extra weight, what is this extra weight, that you're carrying in your
Yeah.
life? And in my own case, it's because I have this absolute default of taking too much responsibility.
Mm.
There are lots of compensatory mechanisms and that we can support each other to see what it is that we're doing.
And
Yeah.
one of the things I say to people as well is our body is so clever, like ridiculously clever. And if we're getting signals, like for example, if we're gaining weight, there's a reason for that. And it could be that our blood sugars are rocketing through the roof, and our body is going to keep us safe by storing the excess energy in fat. Or if you're not eating enough, like people are surprised whenever I see women that are not eating enough, but their metabolism have slowed so down, like is so slow that their body is storing and holding on to every little morsel of energy as possible in fat cells. And it's like, it's to keep you alive as long as possible. That is it. Our body needs to be alive as long as possible. So it's going to do some things that you may not like, but there's a purpose for it. And when you find out the purpose and work through it and go, right, I need to make some changes.
Amazing.
Wow, that's amazing, Sandra. So I know with the Smash Weight, it's not about losing weight, but most people end up losing weight. It's about being healthy. So just before we wrap up, like, give us your 5 things that is like, these are the principles of the Smash Weight.
Okay, so the principles of the Smash Way: eat real food, reduce your sugar intake, increase your protein intake, increase your fiber intake, and drink lots of water.
Simples.
Absolutely. And when you put it like that, it is really simple. But I would probably say one of the biggest things is you have to enjoy the food that you're eating. If you don't enjoy what you eat, you will always go back to eating the crap that has been made in a way that triggers all those sensory things in our body. You must enjoy the food that you eat. So if you're looking down at a plate of food and going, oh my word, this is amazing, you'll eat that way for the rest of your life. And whenever I'm creating recipes, that's what I'm always thinking of. It's like, I love this food. I love food. That's the key. I love really tasty food, and it doesn't have to be difficult to make it.
Wonderful.
Well, you've come to the right place, because we love food and we usually end up talking about food every single episode.
Oh, yeah. My Indian friend Jane says, I think you're actually Bengali because you're talking about lunch at breakfast and dinner at lunch. But what I've loved in this episode is the focus on listening to our bodies and, not suppressing symptoms. If people have got heartburn and the stomach is raging with acid, that don't ignore it. Don't take anti-acid medication. Stop putting so much acid in. Look at what's going on with your nervous system. Let's get conscious and aware and support each other to really, really listen in. Yeah.
100%.
Amazing. Well, I've so enjoyed this episode, and we could probably carry on all day because it's our favourite subject. And I'm going to be really bold, Sandra, and say, please come back at some point, won't you?
Absolutely.
And do another session for us when we start drilling right down into sort of food trends and things like that. Will be wonderful.
It would be an
So,
honor.
my dear friend, I will see you many more times, I'm absolutely sure.
Yes.
And thank you so, so much for joining us on Alive and Loving It. And anybody who's listening to it, please go to YouTube and have a look at Sandra, because she is absolutely brimming with life, with that life force energy, Rosy, isn't it?
Absolutely. And go to our website and give us your questions, your thoughts, your reflections. Just go to the contact page. There's a place there that you can, because we want to hear from you too.
Wonderful. Thanks, guys. Another great episode.
Thank you, Sandra, so much.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Alive and Loving It. We really hope that today's conversation has sparked your passion and showed you ways to open up into the vibrant life that's possible for you.
Absolutely, Rosy. I mean, we do have to remember that transformation begins with love, and that is self-love, love for others, and love for our beautiful planet. When you embrace love and you just allow yourself to receive as much as you give, you unlock the fullest potential of your life.
That is the truth, Karen. And we're here to support you every step of the way on your journey. So if you enjoyed what you heard today, please join our community and check out our trainings and our services, such as my Dr. Rosy Daniel Clinic and Karen's beautiful women's circles and retreats, and the events where we can all go deeper together. And do please send us your feedback. We want to hear your ideas for the podcast, who you'd like us to interview, and the questions you want us to ask and get answered. Through the contact page on our website, just go to aliveandlovingit.org.
I've really enjoyed reading them. But when you're there, be sure to sign up for our newsletter and updates. And what about following us on Instagram as well? We are at Alive and Loving It Community. Once you've signed up to the newsletter, you'll receive extra notes from today's show and more inspiration to help you live your most vibrant life.
Thank you for being with us. Keep shining,
Stay true to yourself and remember, this is your time to live your fullest, healthiest life.
So until next time, keep doing what you love most in life. I know Rosy and I will be. We're so excited to connect with you on the next episode of Alive and Loving It. And we welcome you with open hearts to our Alive and Loving It community.